In the known universe, there are three universal constants. 1. Energy cannot be created or destroyed. 2. The speed of light is the absolute limit. 3. Carbon-based life requires water, oxygen, and nutrients to survive. But there is a subclause to that third rule. A clause that most species in the Galactic Federation ignore until it is too late. It states that what nourishes one species can liquidate the internal organs of another. We have spoken about death worlds before. We know about the high gravity, the radiation, the predators. But we rarely talk about the chemistry. On the planet Earth, Sol 3, the plants are engaged in a billion-year chemical warfare. To stop animals from eating them, plants evolved neurotoxins. Poisons designed to stop the heart of an insect, paralyze a mammal, or rot the stomach of a bird. Any sane species would avoid these plants. Humans boil them in water and drink the poison for breakfast. They call it flavor. They call it energy. The rest of the galaxy calls it a Class A biological war crime. Today on Apex Sci-Fi, we enter the pristine halls of the diplomatic vessel the Veritas. We will witness what happens when a tired human diplomatic attaché decides to brew a morning cup of Java in a ship with sensors designed to detect chemical weapons. If you need a caffeine fix to get through the day, hit that like button. You are already one of the galaxy's monsters. Subscribe to the channel. And put down the mug. The hazmat team is on the way. Chapter 1. The Invisible Killer. The Veritas was a ship of science. Crewed by the Zygnum, a species of tall, elegant insectoids with translucent exoskeletons, the ship was a sterile paradise. The Zygnum were incredibly sensitive to their environment. Their sense of smell was 40 times more acute than a bloodhound. They could smell a drop of coolant leaking 3 decks away. Commander ZYX stood on the bridge, admiring the nebula outside. "Beautiful," he clicked in his native tongue. "Status report, Officer Click." "All systems nominal, Commander," Click replied, his multifaceted eyes scanning the readouts. "Wait." A single red light blinked on the environmental console. Then 2. Then 10. "Commander." Click's voice went up an octave, a sign of extreme distress. "Sensors are detecting a localized atmospheric breach in Sector 4. High concentrations of, by the hive, airborne neurotoxins." ZYX spun around. "Toxins? Are we under attack?" "Shield status. Shields are up. No external breach." Click typed furiously. "The source is internal. It's spreading through the ventilation shafts. Analysis detects methylxanthine alkaloids. Volatile organic compounds. Commander, the concentration is high enough to kill a Zygnum larva in seconds." The bridge erupted into controlled chaos. "Seal off Sector 4. ZYX roared. "Cut the ventilation. Activate the Omega Protocol." Sirens wailed throughout the ship. Massive blast doors slammed shut, locking corridors. In the mess hall, Zygnum crew members dropped their nutrient paste and scrambled for emergency breathing masks. The smell hit them first. To a human, it was a rich, roasted, nutty aroma. To the Zygnum, it smelled like burning death. It smelled like bitterness concentrated into a physical weapon. It triggered their primal, flee response. "It is chemical warfare," ZYX whispered, watching the toxin spread on the holographic map. "Someone has smuggled a weapon on board. Send in the decontamination squad. Lethal force is authorized." They didn't know the weapon was a bag of darker roast Arabica beans. Chapter 2. The Hunt for the Saboteur. The decontamination squad looked like terrifying, faceless soldiers. They wore thick, rubberized suits designed to withstand acid rain and radiation storms. Lead Officer Vrek held a heavy plasma incinerator. His orders were simple: locate the source of the toxin. Neutralize it. "Approaching Sector 4, Vrek spoke into his comms. "The air density is changing. The toxin is thick here. It is clinging to the walls." The squad moved slowly. Every shadow looked like an enemy. "Reading spikes," the scanner operator said, his voice trembling. "The source is thermal. It is hot. Whatever is generating this poison is boiling it into the air." "A chemical bomb," Vrek concluded. "They are boiling the toxin to maximize dispersal." They reached the door where the readings were highest. The sign on the door read, Guest Quarters, Sarah Jenkins, Terra/Sol 3. Vrek paused. The humans were new to the Federation. They were considered robust, but generally friendly. Surely, the human was already dead? No biological organism could survive inside a room where the air itself was saturated with this level of alkaloid poison. The human must be a casualty, Vrek said. We are retrieving the body. Prepare to breach. They placed explosive charges on the door lock. 3, 2, 1. Breach. Boom. The door blew inward. Smoke filled the corridor. Vrek stormed in, rifle raised, ready to shoot a terrorist or a sabotage droid. What he saw confused his tactical computer. The room was dim. In the corner, a small machine was gurgling. It hissed steam like a dying beast. A dark, viscous black liquid dripped slowly from the machine into a ceramic vessel. And there, standing in front of it, was the monster. Chapter 3. The Black Ichor. Sarah Jenkins was not dead. But she didn't look alive, either. She was wearing loose gray fabric on her legs and a hooded garment. Her hair was a tangled nest. Her skin was pale. Dark circles hung under her eyes like bruises. She stood with a slump, her arms hanging loosely. She looked like a reanimated corpse. Vrek froze. Contact. The human is standing. But barely. Sarah turned slowly to look at the armored soldiers pointing plasma cannons at her. She didn't scream. She didn't raise her hands. She blinked. Slowly. What? She croaked. Her voice was dry, raspy. What is going on? Human. Vrek shouted through his external speaker. Do not move. You are in a contaminated zone. The air is toxic. Do not breathe. Sarah frowned. She sniffed the air. She took a deep breath of the poison. A look of desperate longing crossed her face. Oh God, she whispered. It's finally ready. She reached for the ceramic vessel. The mug. Stop. Vrek screamed. That liquid is the source. It is concentrated death. Do not touch it. Sarah ignored the alien with the plasma gun. In the hierarchy of needs of a human morning, caffeine ranks higher than survival. She picked up the mug. The black liquid swirled. It was hot, near boiling point. She is going to throw it, a soldier yelled. It's acid. No, Vrek realized with horror. She is bringing it to her face. The squad watched in paralyzed silence as Sarah lifted the mug. The steam hit her face. She didn't recoil. She closed her eyes and inhaled the vapor. Don't do it, Vrek pleaded, a rare moment of empathy for a dying creature. It will melt your esophagus. Sarah tilted the mug. She drank. Vrek flinched, expecting to see her throat dissolve, expecting blood, expecting screams of agony. Instead, Sarah swallowed. She let out a long, shuddering sigh. Ah, she said. That hits the spot. Then, the transformation happened. Her eyes opened wider. The slump in her shoulders vanished. Color returned to her cheeks. The zombie was rapidly gaining energy. Okay, Sarah said, her voice suddenly clear and sharp. Why did you guys blow up my door? Chapter 4. The Medical Impossibility. They dragged Sarah to the medical bay immediately. They put her in a containment field. The chief medical officer, Dr. Zal, stared at the bioscan results with 4 eyes wide open. Commander Zuex, Dr. Zal said, shaking his head. I cannot explain it. The human ingested 300 milligrams of 1,3,7-trimethylxanthine. Caffeine. In a Zignum, this dose would cause immediate seizures, followed by cardiac explosion. And the human? Zuex asked, looking at Sarah through the glass. She was reading a datapad and tapping her foot rhythmically. Her heart rate increased by 15%, Dr. Zal read the chart. Her dopamine levels spiked. Her cognitive functions improved. Commander, the poison makes her faster. It makes her smarter. Zuex felt a wave of nausea. A species that consumes neurotoxins to increase performance? That is biological madness. What happens when the toxin wears off? We believe, Dr. Zal theorized, that they suffer withdrawal. They become irritable, slow, and violent. They are dependent on the poison to function. Sarah looked up and waved at them. Hey, can I get a refill? I only had 1 cup. ZYX stepped back. She wants more. The LD50, lethal dose, for that substance is minuscule. Does she have a death wish? No, Dr. Zal cleaned his glasses. She said she has a Zoom meeting with the High Council in an hour and needs to be sharp. Commander, I recommend we give her the liquid. I do not want to see what she becomes if she enters withdrawal. The incident on the Veritas led to a new Federation regulation, Protocol 88C. Humans are now allowed to carry their morning brown liquid, but only in sealed, biohazard-approved containers. Designated consumption zones were built on every ship with human crew members, equipped with military-grade ventilation. The aliens still watch us with fear when we drink it. They look at the Starbucks logo like it is a warning sign for a toxic waste dump. And honestly, they aren't wrong. We are humans. We evolved on a world trying to kill us, so we decided to boil the things trying to kill us and drink them for a buzz. We are the monsters under the bed. And we are very, very caffeinated. This has been Apex Sci-Fi. If you are watching this with a cup of coffee in your hand, congratulations, you are a biological terror. Smash that like button before the caffeine crash hits. Comment below, how do you take your poison? Black. With sugar? Or with the tears of your enemies? Subscribe for more deep dives into the madness of humanity. Until next time, stay awake. End of recording.